RBR the word, and we back with another one, exclusive. You already know how we do, man. It's the God. Bless up, my peoples. Today, I want to have a discussion about some of the things that's happening here in April 2025 in what we are calling the Trump era. Yes, the man who would be king that has taken over the empire. Now, Trump was the promised one for many white Americans, many black Americans too, and many Hispanic voters who voted because they thought Trump in some way would make their lives better. I mean, many people were sick of the Democratic way of doing things, very disgruntled with the way the Democrats did things. And so you witnessed this in the way the people voted. They voted out the Democrats and they voted Donald Trump in. No matter what people will say on the ground about how that decision was made, just know that the people of America voted Donald Trump in. And what does that mean? That means they had the hopes of the country on Donald Trump. What has Donald Trump done within his first 100 days of office? Many say it's chaotic. Many of the financial analysts say it's chaotic. Many of the big bankers believe it's chaotic. You can see the results in the corporate world. Many corporations, many chain stores are closing down. There is a tariff war going on in America. It's a tariff war against China in principle. China versus the US. The old guard, the empire, versus the rising sun, which is China. And what do I mean by that? I simply mean this. Humanity is in one of the most unique places in history. We're in a point in history where things are refixing itself, realigning. There's a shift going on within this timeline in which we exist. Many think it's a shift for the better. They said there will be greater things ahead. Things like better medication that could actually save lives instead of making people dependent on the doctors, right? And then the doctors milk you for whatever the medication you're paying for the rest of your life. Many people believe that in this changing era, in this new era that we're marching into, the medication will be such that, at some point within this timeline, the aging process will be cured. Things like cancer, that kill us, that are like, once you're diagnosed with it, it means you're gonna die. Well, people believe that we're coming into a point where the technology that's remaining hidden, and those things will begin to come into the light, right? People say we're moving into the light. It's a new era. We have yet to see, but in this day and now, today, we're in a trade war with China. And America is losing, as their brethren in the West have already lost. Countries like France, Great Britain, the powerhouses of the past are no more. These were the former colonial nations that colonized most of the countries that had dark people, dark or brown-skinned people. The colonizers colonized these countries. They named it whatever names they chose to name it. They enslaved the people of the continents and the countries, and they created total chaos and separation amongst the people. Well, now, this is 2025. We are in what some are called the age of Aquarius. And if anybody knows Aquarius, you know what that sign represents, which is the water, water is symbolic to words, knowledge, power, light. And so here we are drinking off that water. And there's a great enlightenment swerving across the planet. It's just spreading across the planet. And people are waking up. And not only blacks are waking up, whites are waking up, Middle East, everybody's waking up. Every human being on this planet are being affected by this shift in the timeline. You see, it wasn't just black people that was duped and bamboozled and confused, because when you look at the Western idea of education and the education system that was imposed on the former colonialized countries, then you will realize that we all had the same education or miseducation. We were all tricked under the same guise of education, but it was really miseducation. So when we understand miseducation and for how many generations it happened, then you must kind of start to understand the divide and conquering spirit and how it works. This is why Jamaicans are taught that Americans are lazy. Americans are taught that Africans don't like you. Africans are taught don't mix with those Americans when you get there. And so all around the universe, black people, as we know them, that look like each other, have been taught to not like each other, depending on your geographical locations. There are many Jamaicans who do not call themselves African. There are many African Americans who don't like the African part attached to their names. There are many African Americans now who say they'd rather be Indian than acknowledge their blackness. So we are all confused on the planet, right? But it's been manifested that these things would happen. And when you do your research and you study our history, then you will see that this has happened to us before. At least one tribe of us, it's happened. It's manifested. It's in the books. But because we're never taught that we're in the books, we don't even know where to look. And many of us have even thrown the books to the side. Why read the Bible when it's the white man's book? And so we think it's the white man's book because nobody have ever taken the time to show us ourselves in the book. When realistically, the book is all about us. Yeah, it's not about the white man. Most of those people depicted in the Bible, those pictures that you've seen depicted all around the planet of white Moses and white this and white, none of that is real. If you know, you know. The people of the Bible are black people, right? We just didn't have these kind of titles and names that we have now. You know, many of these are English given names. So let's not get confused in the naming of such. Names are just titles or just names, all right? But more importantly, we have to acknowledge that there is a landmass from where you came. And that landmass, at the end of the day, no matter what, we should all want to protect it. But it's the place of your origin. Read the books. Read every book that you can find that talk about history. And you will start to understand that we are very unique on the planet. We have fingerprints all across the planet, not no one geographical location. So when I see people reaching to, definitively align themselves with certain people from certain contents as if to say that this is where we're from. I'm like, yeah, we're from, we populated the whole planet. We're from everywhere, all around this planet. So we don't have it twisted. So we will not alienate our brown brothers and sisters, no matter where they're geographically located. I don't care if you're in Colombia. I don't care if you're in Alaska. If you're brown and you look like me, then I know where you're from. You're from the motherland. We're not gonna get that twisted. But at the end of the day, that is what it is. However, on the horizon, in our times, there was a great man on the rise. and his name is Ibrahim Traore. Yes, yes, I know, he's over in Africa. How could I help? Remember, we had Elijah Muhammad's, we had the Marcus Garveys, we had the Malcolm X's, we had the Farrakhan's, we had Medgar Evers, we had Buster Manti. We've had many great black leaders. Many of them were killed along the way, along the journey, as they try to make their people rise or see the light or take up the challenge. Yeah, they were assassinated, many of these guys. What we want, we have one that's here now, and he's in Africa. Ibrahim Traore. And if you haven't heard that name, then I suggest you do some research and you look up this brother and you find out all about him. And you need to find out why it is that we should extend our words to protect him. We should send our spirits out to guide him. And we should not separate ourselves from the struggles that's here and now. We should not sit back and watch as our brothers struggle against the powers that be. As our brother struggles against the ruthless forces that will keep their foot on our necks in this world. I heard a brother say recently that one of the reasons why we should be proud of the footprint that we've left behind as a people of color is that nowhere on this planet can a man show his finger and say, oh, they came and they made us study and believe in their God, or they came and they made us use their language, or they came and they made us take up their culture. No, we never did that all around the planet. And so, you know, we are the peacemakers of the planet. We are the most peaceful people on the planet, the original man. And when you look around the planet, you could tell who are the warmongers of the earth, because they've continued the history of war. The war dynamic is sewn into their DNA. And so they continue to warmonger. But we are in a very unique place in history when I believe that these wars, it's going to come a time where they will cease. But for that to happen, we need Africa to rise and be who she will be. Because believe it or not, Africa has the heartbeat of the world with its great resources. Now, with the protection of China and Russia, protecting Africa from the colonialist nations, there is a future ahead that I don't think none of us are prepared for. The time is now. So you could sit there and you could be caught up in the American rhetoric that keeps us separated and divided, and you could look at brown people suffering and being deported and say, good for them. Oh, I'm not going to help you now. Or, oh, where were you when we needed help? I mean, we could say all of those things. I've heard it all. I've heard preachers saying this. I've heard brothers saying this. And I just wonder. How did we get so misguided and strewn apart? How did we allow the rhetoric of the feds and their psyops, which keep black people and brown people socially divided amongst themselves by giving them names to call themselves? And they could become pretentious and say, I'm Guyanese, I'm Trinidadian, I'm Jamaican, I'm this, I'm that. When in all reality, we all come from the same geographical location at one point or another. How important is it for you to distinguish yourself as an Indian from America, or a native of the American landmass? Is it that important that you would take that stance? Okay, well, if you take that stance and you divide yourself from your brothers, when it's time for you to wage war, who will be your allies? If you're paying attention to the political angles in this world, it's all about allies. If you're not aligned in the proper way, then you're nothing. Your force have no backing. They will trample on you and take your government. They will take your little, whatever it is that you're building, and they will tear it apart. They will lie on you. They will set you up. They will put you in prison. Have you witnessed what they did to Malachi York? Have you witnessed how they killed Malcolm X? Are you serious? These guys like Tariq that's coming with this FBA thing. And it's good. I'm just wondering, where are you going with it? Are you trying to separate blacks in America from everyone else? That's a foolish move. If anything, we should be united all across the planet, because it's going to come a time when that's what we recognize. We recognize your ties to the land. And when the balance of power shifts, the balance of power will only shift when Africa is also sitting on that board. No, we're not sitting on that board yet. There is no black country on the planet that has nuclear or the power to influence nuclear. And if you have no nuclear, you can't protect yourself. No, you can't. You can't protect yourself against the bullies that have nuclear. This is why places like North Korea, Kim Jong-un, has been so powerful. Of course, he says what he wants, he does what he wants, because he has nuclear. And they can't take it from him. Israel does what it wants because it has nuclear. Though it was never given permission to build nuclear, they did it. Yes, and the Americans, they're okay with it. The American government, they are fine with that. Do you think they want Iran to have nuclear? No. Why? Because Iran is a brown country. So if you look at it and understand it for what it is, black people and brown people, you shouldn't have nothing. They don't want you with any power. They don't want you to be able to defend yourself. Nonetheless, the time is now. The world that we're moving into, this multilateral world, it's going to be different. Look at it. Notice. It is different. Already it's different. America, the empire has fallen, and it's slipping on its notches. Before the war is over, America may be 4th or 5th place on the economic ladder in this world. So when you see these decisions being made by the government to continue the warmongering, understand that they're trying to keep their place secure their position on the planet, because it's quickly being overshadowed by the works of China, Russia, India, Brazil, and South Africa. These are the rising countries of BRICS. And with this rise, it means the fall of the empire. Yeah, people. So I want you to think about the things that China have done when they talk about people spending their money and buying these designer brands that are just that. It's a brand, but it's not that serious. You can make brands that's just as relevant yourself. Think about it. We are the culture. If you didn't buy that, if you didn't buy that Balenciaga, or if you didn't buy that Fendi or that Prada, do you think it would have the weight and the value that it has? If we created our own brand and every hip-hopper started mentioning that brand, what do you think would happen? Think. No, the Chinese are not telling you these things because they don't like you or because they're in a war with America. They've said these things before. They've told us that we are the biggest spenders in the world. We're the biggest spenders in the world. If Black America spent your money in Black America, you will see how fast you could change the political agenda. Think, what could you do to affect the politics of today? One thing you could do: preserve your money and only spend it with those that have your best interests in heart. And these are the reasons why you must start to look for a third party. A third party. Democrats are not good enough. Republicans are not good enough. No, you need a poor people's party. A party that's for the people, designed by the people, and when it gets in there, it will be completely for the people. The Republicans, Donald Trump, is for his friends. Elon Musk and the other power brokers and the corporate rich people. They're all going to get rich. Look at the stock market. It's beautiful today. I got to go drop a few dollars on it right now. It's beautiful. So we know who's winning in these times. But before the end of the summer, we're going to feel it the most. Understand that. So as we come to the conclusion of this, I want to remind y'all, Ibrahim Traore is our guy in these times. So when we think of a conscientious Black man that's on the rise, who we need to empower, because when we empower him, then he empowered those weak leaders that we have in Africa. And when he empowers those weak leaders and they become strong, then Africa becomes strong. When Africa becomes strong, then us who don't live in Africa, now we have a home if we choose to go there. We don't have to go there, but we are multinational citizens. We could be in Africa, or we could be in America, or we could be anywhere on the planet that we choose to be, right? But a strong Africa, a strong motherland, means that we have a voice on the planet. Right now, we have no voice on the planet. We're just here, right? At the whim of the colonizers. But if you are doing the research and you're keeping abreast of the changing world, then you will know that my people are on the rise. Hold your head high. Don't be surprised. Don't listen to the rhetoric of these Tariq Nasheeds and these guys that would have you separated and pulled apart from those that you will need for your allies when the time comes. All wars are not peaceful. All coups are not bloodless. There are many times when you wish to change the status quo where a lot of blood gets spilled. Are you witnessing what's going on in the Middle East? Are you witnessing how those people are fighting the fighting spirit that they possess, the fighting spirit of the Houthis? Yeah, if some of us had that same spirit, I guarantee you, we wouldn't still have our hands out asking for reparation. Because if you know what I know, the white man that powers this government, those Nazi-minded Zionists from the past, with those past ways of thinking, if you are waiting for those guys to give you reparation, you may be waiting forever. In this world, when you look around the planet, certain people, they're not asking for things. They take what they want. And if you're not trying to take reparation, then you should stop asking. Because asking doesn't mean you'll receive. And the people you're asking, they do not have your best interest in heart. Why do you think you haven't received it yet? Think about that. I think I ended on this note. If you're begging, then you're not playing from a position of power. When you demand and show your willingness to take, then you're in a position of power. Until the next episode, my people suffer from a lack of knowledge. A people who do not know their history, well, then they have no foundation. Bless up, my peoples. Until the next episode. Peace.